actually, as I've just said, it was 60 years bar 2 weeks. August the 22nd that we sailed into Komodo to look for the threshold. And the amazing thing was that back in those days, people in Indonesia, let alone anywhere else, they didn't know where Komodo was. I mean, I went when I went to Java and said, you need to go to Komodo. They said, what? So we had quite an adventurous time getting there, sailing a little canoe and then a little prow, and then landing there, getting ourselves in whirlpools and everything like that. And at the time, there was one film that was taken on 35mm back in the 20s, very brief one by Americans. But the film that we took was actually you. Bill, who also knows Indonesian. The Indonesians, they didn't know about it. When we said there was this large lizard living there, they were very surprised. And I got over enthusiastic about explaining how special it was. I say that because we were there on the collecting expedition. We were collecting animals for this institution. And I said, you've got this wonderful wahatara, this big land lizard. And they said, really? I said, yes. I said, well, and we would like to collect one. And they said, oh no, if it's as wonderful as all that, thank you very much, you mustn't collect it. And so we had the embarrassment that we collected animals from all over the shop, from Java and Borneo and Flores, but weren't allowed to bring the dragon back. So we built a trap in order to catch one, in order to measure it with a little bit of drum. But then we let it go. So it's a great delight to see this one here. And to know that now actually it's also being bred in zoos, and this one was bred in and of course what that does is to illustrate how zoos have changed and how wonderfully this institution has adapted itself to new attitudes and new ways of thinking about it. I congratulate you on the grounds. I don't want to be critical of the zoo for 60 years ago, because 60 years ago was 60 years ago and things were very different. And 60 years ago, zoological institutions prided themselves, they were still in the era of the 19th century. They were still in the area of collecting different species and saying, yes, we've got so many species and therefore we've got 6 more than you and therefore we're a better zoo. And that was a hangover from the 19th century, you know, when you were still stamp collecting, as it were. And since that time, of course, you have now realized, and the zoo community have realized, that the world has changed. That we got past the stamp collecting. We now have to cherish, which is a different mindset altogether. And if I may say so, you have illustrated it marvelously in what I've seen. I mean, I've seen this institution, as you know, 60 years, 70 years, and it's changed beyond recognition. And the houses in which the accommodation you provide for them is really thrilling, and to see them looking so much healthier than they were, with so much more things to do, and are cared for with so much more attention, not just sitting in little boxes, but having things to do, and having people to understand them, and to care for them, and cherish them. And that's why the zoos today are key institutions in the way we cherish the natural world, which, my goodness, the world is in need of cherishing. And the attitudes which you will instill into your visitors here are crucial to the way in which we regard and look after the natural world on which we depend. And it's in real trouble, but it's institutions like this that are mind changers. And I am therefore very honoured indeed that you should name it